you go. So that's a question, and there's also a hope for me, because I'm really tired of being crypto and nobody uses it. So AI comes to the rescue and says, okay, if people can do it, I'm gonna do it. I'll take over humans. And so the question is again, will AI fix the crypto UX problem? So crypto has a very big UX problem, right? It is really hard to use. We discussed this before. So most use cases for Web3 in travel, in general, also not travel, but everything, are aborted. You know those ideas that you don't, self-censoring ideas? Oh, that would be great. Nobody has a wallet. They don't even come to life. So most of the use cases for crypto in travel they don't even exist because we already know they won't work. So we have this Web 2.5 approach, which is like, okay, let's either hide it behind the scenes or narrow it to the users who actually have crypto, which most of the times means no critical mass, or let's use it at different levels, like sprinkle it like parmesan on top, but the meal is not Web3. And the result is that in the metaphor of the feudalism is that Web2 kings are still ruling and we are the underdogs or whatever. Yeah, you were showing exactly, not exactly this picture, but Brian Armstrong like a couple of days ago, right? From Coinbase saying we have LLMs using wallets. Now they were showing actually, I think, an SDK to integrate it, right? So it was like mostly for developers. But the concept is really simple. ChatGPT can use wallets. Most people can't. ChatGPT can. Now, actually, ChatGPT cannot, but what I mean is like LLMs, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but we already have real use cases. This project is Morpheus. Venice is integrated in Morpheus. Venice.ai, by the way, is a ChatGPT free, which doesn't save your queries. So it's kind of privacy conscious. And I'm not going to go through Morpheus. We talked about it in the context of some startups getting yield from the token, but it's doing so many things that we skip this. Morpheus is doing agents. It basically says you can download an app. The app runs an LLM not on your computer, but on a distributed set of computers, of basically nodes. No one knows everything about you, so your privacy is preserved. And what it says in our context here is that you can tell it to send a ETH to someone. You can tell it to swap some tokens. You can tell it in the future to make a booking on a Web3 platform with your wallet, right? That's the example. So I don't know why they choose 3 ETH, which is like almost $8,000. I wouldn't do that. But basically, it's like ChatGPT. You ask a question, but then you say, send 3 ETH to this address. And it does everything behind the scenes, and all you have to do is to click that button on your MetaMask, and you are sending 3 ETH. All these projects, and these are not the only ones, there's more, they don't dare yet to click the button for you, but this can be easily done, right? So I suppose at a certain point, we'll simply click them by themselves. And you say, the LLMs hallucinate, right? You heard this when you ask ChatGPT something and it invents something completely fake. Well, this is really decreasing very quickly, and at the same time, you can give it certain powers and parameters, like, okay, use only this address in my wallet, only send ETH, don't send USDC, don't move more than $100 a day. You can do whatever you want, so to reduce the risk. Of course, this is new stuff. We're gonna see like problems, hacking, but we see them anyway. So as I told you before, right, it's risky anyway. We're just probably making it less risky with AI. This company is in a video with a bad audio. I'm sorry about it, but it's pretty telling what they're doing. So let's see it.
If you could tell an AI agent to perform certain on-chain tasks on your behalf. For example, here, we're asking it to swap into ETH every 10 seconds. Now, in this demo that we built on Morpheus, utilizing the Biconomy stack, the user can enable this AI agent. Basically, Sign just wants to do that. Now, the beauty is that with Biconomy's permission stack, you're delegating this task to the AI without sharing your complete wallet access, because obviously you don't want to do that, right? So the AI agent can only perform tasks strictly within defined permissions. Now, if you look, the agent will automatically trigger and execute the swap transaction every 10 seconds. I mean, it's really cool, right? And as I mentioned, as it's within certain permissions, the AI agent cannot do any other action. It can't swap to any other token, it can't touch any other funds on your wallet, and the permissions can be super granular to really ensure security. Now, as you can see on Basecamp, the agent has been automatically signing and executing the swap transactions every 10 seconds. And this demo is really just the tip of the iceberg. Thanks to Biconomy 10 allowing safe and non-custodial delegation within permissions and decentralized AI agent platforms such as Morpheus, we are going to see an explosion of AI crypto use cases.
Okay, so now imagine this in travel, right? What can we do in travel? We can make a booking, buy an NFT which represents a night, buy a ticket, refund a ticket. I mean, all the things we do every day in Web2. And we cannot do in Web3 even if we have wallets, because there are no websites or few websites doing that. Or let's say Sleep.io, I could actually interact with Sleep.io through an LLM. So I could actually, Sleep.io could create an LLM interface for these users. And now it goes from Web3 people only to basically everyone who can write, all right? It enlarges the user base like from 3% to 90% or whatever. This is extremely powerful. It's really recent. I mean, all these things are a few months old, maybe this is a few days old. It has just started, but it's there. It is working, right? So in this example, the guy was buying, I think, a token every few seconds, right? So it's even better than me being able to use the wallet, because I don't know how to do this every 10 seconds, right? I don't go and click, or I should create a script. I don't need to create a script. I tell it to do it, and it does that. It does it, and it is building a script basically behind the scenes, right? This is so powerful. I don't know how to convey it more than that. I don't know if you get in it how this really changes things, right? Let's see another one, which gives us another example. Another video. This is no sound, so and this is pretty fast. So I'm gonna stop it at the end and explain again, but. The one we've seen before is simply an integration with Morpheus. Somebody just built it. It's not really a big effort in terms of development. This is even smaller. It's like a small app somebody built a few days ago. Okay, I'm going to slow it down. So, oh, sorry. Cannot do that. Let's try again. No, it doesn't stop it. Okay, let it go, and then we talk. So asking how much money I have in my wallet, and it tells how much he has, how much is it worth in USDC, Canadian dollars. Okay, send $5 worth of it to this address, all right? And the wallet, basically the chat asks, are you sure? Is it the one to do? Yes, let's do it. Also add a message in it, and then the user clicks on confirm, and it's done. And this is the proof on the blockchain. This guy is going really too fast, but you know, there's the message there. Okay, it stopped. So yeah, let's take a minute to think about what we just seen here. Yeah. Okay, you say it doesn't feel very safe. You want to add something?
No, I mean, just saying it opens up the possibility to attack everywhere. Like, it doesn't feel very safe because in the end, you do all this effort to protect the key in the MetaMask, and then you give this tool to another piece of software, and so you increase the surface of attack.
Yeah.
So it seems simple, but I think it's also more dangerous in the end.
I guess we'll see. I'm not here to say this is safer and this is already better.
So in the end, it's the user money and another layer of software managing this on his behalf.
Well, we got to a point, Valerio, in which the comparisons between the human brain and the machine brain, right? So every time we talk about AI, yes, but AI makes mistakes. Yeah. humans make mistakes, right? We need the human in the loop. Yeah, another one who makes mistakes. We do make mistakes, right? So the question is going to be a bit like with, auto drive from Tesla, whatever.
Yeah.
You get to a point in which statistically you say, this is safer than that one. And I suppose, I hope, and I think we're going to get to the point where this is safer than people actually dealing with wallets. A bit like Tesla is going to make, autopilot cars are going to make accidents in the future, but if it's 100 times less than humans, then it's a good deal, right?
Right.
Of course, we have to prove this.
But then when a machine does a mistake, who's accountable for that? Not the software producer.
Who gave I suppose, you
so
gave
it's you.
Yeah. It's you anyway if you do it yourself, isn't it? So you tell the machine, I trust you, do it, it makes a mistake, that's your fault, right? Microphone, please. Mic. Yeah.
I think it's completely a valid concern and a valid problem. And I think there is hopefully also technology in the Web3 space that can solve that, right? So we're looking at things like SSI, right? Self-sovereign identification, digital ID, multi-cross platform, etc. And like I can imagine something like having biometrics. Like I don't know if you ever heard of a startup called Gnocchi that does SSI and basically digital identification. I mean, overlay on top of this, right? So I don't know if you guys heard recently, I think Apple announced that they're opening up an SDK for third-party vendors. So like now you could potentially do crypto transaction, USDC, et cetera, through your Apple Wallet. Like I think this is coming. And I think like algorithmic buys, like the demo you just gave, is exactly how Michael Saylor at MicroStrategy is buying Bitcoin without fluctuating the price action because he does such large buys. It's all being done by AI.
Yeah, so I mean, it's certainly a valid concern, and we're certainly going to see big disasters. The question is where we get. Again, the base is human behavior, and it's not crypto-human behavior. The base is everybody else, right? So if you want to keep this safe, you just let very advanced people use it, and nobody else will. By opening this to people who can do it by themselves and giving it to LLMs, it opens to many more people. So I think it seems to me like instinctively a good deal, which...
It's the risk of early adopters.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, it's like you want to be a developer and you use AI to code, but you have no idea about the output, so you don't know what is happening really. And it seems kind of similar. You want to send Ethereum, but you don't know, right? And you give the machine, do it for me. I don't understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it opens up like a...
Yeah. It's always the same. It's always been like this in technology, right? Now we went from manual gears to automatic gears. You don't know what's happening. Oh my God, I want control. Because there's also this thing, I want to control. And then you're keeping your drink in your hand and you try to change the gear and you have an accident instead of the automatic one, right?
Creating MetaMask and seeds, it was all about taking control back. So here it's a bit going towards what
but you have to see the AI as an extension of yourself, because this AI doesn't have to be a corporate AI. It can be running on your computer, right? Because there's a big difference. There's two kinds of AI: the corporate AI, like OpenAI, and the local AI, which
it is a big difference, yes.
Completely. So you don't trust the big ones. You do it on your computer or on distributed computers, right?
Right. But I'm sure the one successful will be the one from big corporation. Because that's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it normally works. Yeah. Because people don't really, they tend to trust, right? So again, I'm not saying this is going to be good. Maybe this is another step toward dystopia. But that's where it's going. So we consider this in our, outlook on Web3 in travel. Any other question on this? We're gonna go to something even more amazing. Please, the microphone for Peter. Yeah. It's off, I think. Yeah.
So let's make the assumption this works, right? Not the bad stuff. It works, and we have AI Bitcoin to Bitcoin transactions or crypto to crypto transactions. I still see the main challenge is not that, because I believe this works. It's only a matter of time. This will work. But you still have the supply, people who are selling, be it a hotel room, a flight, an experience, a restaurant, whatever it is, they have to be willing to accept crypto as the payment method there as well. The other thing with this is the minute this does work, do you think the credit card companies will stand back and not go straight in and have AI to AI agents accepting credit cards? They will.
Yeah, there's two questions here. Will the supply side catch up? Normally, we can assume that they will catch up if there's a lot of demand. Now you go to a hotel and say, accept Bitcoin. Yeah, right? Too much effort, too little. But if you start seeing maybe the new generations only using AI front ends and not booking through non-AI systems and non-crypto systems, somebody's going to start to update, and get a lot of traffic. I suppose it goes that way.
Luca, some stablecoins are getting regulated, like USDC, the one from circling Europe now can be used for this. So you have to wait for the regulation for sure.
Yeah, I forgot the other one. I'm sorry, very quickly. Yeah. Oh, credit card companies. Oh, yeah, okay. Credit card. Again, if there's a like 10x better solution, the big corporations usually they try to find it. But in this case, if it's really better, they tend to have to adapt, often by reducing the commissions or by using the technology themselves. We don't really know how that goes, right? So they are both really valid points. And I guess we'll see, yeah?
One point I think the microphone, please. This conversation, it reminds me so much of early 2000s when we're trying to, should I use my credit card on the internet to buy a pizza?
Yeah.
Like, I remember in like early 2000, nobody transacted online with a credit card. Now, of course, we all do, but like there's a lot of similarities, right? Like, you know, industry incumbents being afraid of like disruption. Like, oh, I used to check in guests paying with checks, and then we had debit cards, you know, and so forth. But I think it's going to be interesting if we say, okay, hey, this is coming. Let's look back and see what happened in the past, and see if we can find some interesting nuggets on that. Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah. Robert, please, do you have a microphone? No, we're going to record it, so maybe that one, please. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, just going back to your original question, is AI the savior for UX in crypto? These kind of use cases, they can be solved as well from better user experience and better software design as well. So what is the AI actually really doing in crypto that's not doing in any other sort of use case concept there? I mean, because crypto itself is very fragmented. So there's lots of different pieces of the puzzle out there, and the fact that it hasn't sort of consolidated into more of a universal solution is part of the UX problem. But how does AI do that? Isn't it better just to have a better designed MetaMask?
It's a very good question. First of all, before this came out, we were all hoping for account abstraction, which basically means better wallets, like wallets which do not allow to make the mistake I made a few weeks ago, which are limited, in a little bit in the same way we described here, like a wallet which only can do some things, and it cannot really mess up totally. And this kind of technology is growing. It's just taking time, right? So we have account abstraction, better wallets, more user-friendly wallets. We have AI. I guess everything contributes to make it easier. About the fragmentation, it's really interesting because it's got really complicated with all this change. Just in the Ethereum EVM environment, right? I have to send, I don't know, 100 USDC, and then I don't have them on a chain. I have to go on the other chain, find out which is the latest bridge. And then if I go to the wrong link, I lose everything. It's a mess, right? So how do we solve that? Either the fragmentation is solved at the software level in some way, which probably is a layer on top of all these chains, or we tell our clever friend, say, you know, I'll just do it behind the scenes, make sure you don't spend too much money, etc., etc. And the thing is, maybe I should have said at the beginning, is that LLMs do not have UX problems. They don't care if your UX sucks. They go straight to, if you're familiar to Etherscan, actually they don't even go to Etherscan, they go straight to the contract, right? So maybe you're familiar with Uniswap, which is a very simple swapping token website, which has smart contracts, completely immutable, and then they have the front end. People go to the front end and maybe find it complicated sometimes. They could remove the front end completely, and the LLM is able to do these swaps behind the scenes. In this example, they didn't go on the website to click buttons. They went straight to the database, basically. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. But the truth is we don't know. We don't know. I mean, it is really exciting, but where exactly it's going to go, we don't really know. But, okay, let's finish this one. So what can we do? What can we start thinking about? One thing we just seen is like you don't interact with interfaces anymore. You just tell the LLM what to do, right? Either is an LLM which says, okay, I am the crypto LLM, come to me, and I do everything everywhere, or any DApp, so any app on Web3, or any Web3 and travel app can say, this is my LLM. So maybe the gig can give you also two options, like the old booking.com, where, when, how many people interface, plus maybe a chatbot or an LLM. So we basically tell the LLM what to do. That's one thing. Sorry, did you raise your hand? Sorry, I saw it corner of my
Luca,
eyes.
I have a final question. I think we had this kind of discussion at the beginning of crypto or other technology, like the internet itself when it came, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like we will have easy-to-use wallet when Visa and MasterCard will decide we need one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so it's nice to talk about all these things, but the reality is that is the turning point.
The easy-to-use wallet, which is a custodial wallet, is basically a disaster for crypto. If you all have centralized custodial wallets, then we don't, why we even use crypto? Just because it's a shared database.
Right, but since we're going toward a regulation of stablecoin like USDC in Europe, MasterCard and Visa could say USDC is now legal, I allow you to swap or send or whatever, and of course it's custodial, but then everybody will have a wallet.
Yeah, we're going to see both, and if things stay as they are, most people will use the more comfortable ones. But this is also extremely comfortable, so we can maybe beat on them, right? You can beat them on the comfort side, how easy it is, on the ease of use side, right? Because crypto has always been, you want to be self-sovereign, learn this weird stuff and try to remember it and not lose your money, or go on Coinbase and Kraken, right? And because that's easy, right? And now it's going to be, that's easy too. So I assume this is going to kind of help us in that way. Agents, you introduced agents before, did you? No, I was Agent Smith. So the chatbot we've seen before is like, I tell you to do something and it does something. I tell you to do something and it does something. I stop, it stops. Agents do not stop. So I could tell, I'm trying to come up with an idea for Web3 and travel. In crypto is easy. Buy every 10 seconds. That's kind of an agent, right? In Web3 and travel, it could be something close to what you mentioned. I want to go to Bali for a week. You know my preferences, or here are my preferences. Book me a villa. You know my budget. You know my, if I want to be on the beach or not, etc. And it goes on the web looking for places to do. Now, in your example, I think it was about Web 2. But Web 2 for LLMs is foreign territory. They don't have a credit card. They have to interact actually with front ends, which are sometimes messy, right? Web 3, so Web 3 booking sites, for instance, this is the bread and butter. They understand the smart contracts, and they can do everything. So they go out, they do all the research they have to do, and they come back with a booking, or they come back with, here's the booking, just confirm it, right? And the third thing is like from the founder's point of view, in each startup you are launching, you could actually think, why don't we create an LLM front end instead of building the classic non-LLM front end and then people have to learn, or having to do Web 2.5. So again, extremely speculative, extremely recent. We don't know where this is going, but I find this potentially, bringing crypto to the masses for the first time. All right. The other speech immediately, and then I'm done. Before we start this one, could you quickly remind me the two ideas you chose for the hackathon? Could you, Mike, maybe quickly tell me what it does? The microphone, please. Or wait a second, because it's recorded. Yeah, thanks.
The idea is an AI agent for a traveler system platform, and one of the product is credit card travel benefits claim processing.
I didn't get it.
Okay.
Try again, sorry.
So a traveler assistant platform, so essentially the idea is that it's going to be a platform, but one of the product is credit card benefit, travel benefits, claim processing, automation.
Oh, okay, so it's integrated with all the credit cards. Right. Okay, too hard, this one, for what I want to do. You guys?
Insurance later.
Yeah. Right. Seems to be working.
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, the core is still the decentralized luggage tracking. So
decentralized luggage tracking.
Using Internet of Things combined with keeping records on a blockchain to track the luggage. However, we need to figure out how we can actually implement this in a practical way, since it needs some sort of hardware infrastructure. And then we had a great discussion that we actually also need to have a look in, for example, bags that need to be offloaded. How can the airline predict that a person is not going to make it to the gate or is not going to make the connection, so they keep the bag loosers?
Also too hard.
So those type of operational solutions.
Yeah. So I won't use either idea. They are very integrated with stuff and complicated. So let me start quickly by writing a message to Alessandro in Prague. Okay, Ale, we are on stage, so please start the development of the idea we chose, and let's see you in Google Meet. You share your screen, send me a message when you're ready. I'll tell you later what this is. So the question is AI the new technical co-founder? And again, it's a question, so I'm not saying it is, right? I am very excited about this, but it doesn't mean I'm right. I'm optimistic in general, but all right, so this guy, this is all stuff from a few days ago. So this guy, I don't know him, but he says, I've been programming for 35 years. There was no bigger shift than what I currently see with Cursor, exciting times. Who heard about Cursor? Cursor.com. Yeah? Okay, great. Have you used it a little bit? Have you tried it? Fantastic, Peter. So who heard about Claude, which is not GPT, but is something, more of you, right? Now, a few months ago, Claude launched a new model. It's called Claude 3.5, Sonnet, which quickly showed to be better than GPT-4 in many aspects, especially in coding. And in coding, it is really amazing. Then somebody created there's been many interfaces for that, but Cursor is the most successful one, which is basically a fork of Visual Studio Code, which is like a program where you write code. They made a fork and it's integrated with AI, and I'll show you a little bit what it does. Before we do, I'm going to show you a bit more discussions happening on Twitter right now. So this guy answers, good point. For me, it clicked when using Cursor with Sonnet 3.5. I think it's a combination of what's better with Claude 4. Basically, Cursor existed before 3.5. Before 3.5 until I don't know how many months ago, it wasn't that good. We've been coding before with AI, but it wasn't that good. And then when 3.5 came out, it became really good. And I don't want to even think what's going to be in 6 or months or a year. That's another guy. He says, in 8 minutes, I built a basic Airbnb app using Cursor, and explains how it does. That's the app he built. This app was built in less than 8 minutes. Okay, not 8 weeks or 8 days. There's another one, very quickly. V.V0 is a new one. It came out a few days ago. It's an AI which makes front ends for you. So you combine it with Cursor, and you come up with this kind of stuff. So he did in an hour and a half this program, which is about commercial properties, etc. 1 hour and a half. if you take coders, developers to do that, it's not going to be an hour and a half. Okay. Here's another one. This is from maybe a few days ago too. This afternoon, I managed to build a complete Exchange UI in Next.js. It's just a software with practically zero front-end experience. Zero front-end experience. The guy didn't know how to build front-ends, and he built this front-end using a combo of Cursor AI again, Claude plus V0. It even supports Solana wallets out of the box, plus fetches RPC data via our own SDK. It's so over for devs. Now, okay, we can discuss this. I don't think it's over, but it's just started. I'm going to say like this. After this speech, if you follow through and you download Cursor, you are a programmer. You are not a programmer, but you can program, right? So it's going to feel like you're a programmer, even if you have no idea of what the code is. And we're going to try to show a bit more of this. Now, when I talk about this, people say, yeah, but like, I've used it a lot and I had a lot of fun with this, right? We even built a dashboard for Tetris, and I've written dashboard for Tetris. And people say, yeah, but you know computers, you've been coding a bit, and I've been coding a little bit in the past. Horrible code, but it worked. But I start from a bit ahead. So I saw this a couple of days ago, and there's this 8-year-old kid.
Hello, everyone. And today, I'm going to
This is Cursor,
show you
I think.
how to code with Cursor. I'm going to go to terminal. I'm going to say new terminal and PM. To say hello. I want this to say Harry Potter instead of hello.
She writes what
And
to
then
do,
if I do that,
and Cursor
then
writes the
it will
code for her.
basically have some code. And
She
it will
applies,
apply
and the
it.
code goes in
I'm going to do
the
Command
file.
Tab
Saves.
and Command R. And now, look, now it
And
says
it
Harry
changes.
Potter.
Let's go ahead. She should be going ahead with that. Okay, she probably said to. Okay, she can actually enter a filter.
Expecto Patron. No. And it doesn't even work. So, I want it to say chat with Harry instead of enter your spell. Look, it says chat with Harry. Now I'm gonna say and it won't work. So we need to make it
Okay, let's go ahead.
person to
Don't know what it is. Let's go ahead. She's writing code, and she's telling you what to do, right?
a little lightning bolt spinning
A bit of design, I suppose.
for
So let's go like this. There you go. And the code is being written, and she just has to accept. She's not even reading the code, right? And now she built a chatbot.
two things. So first,
She built a chatbot where she asks things, and the AI replies, right?
the whole
Can you save the whole conversation? Let's see what she does quickly. Can you save the conversation again? Something went wrong, I suppose. There you go. Chatting with Harry. Can you make the background? So change the color. There you go. She got some design done here. And it goes on like this. And I guess she stops here. You can name your chat. There you go, even a picture, a generated picture. So, okay. That's to basically say you don't have to be a developer. She raised 60 million from him. Yes. Yeah. It's sorry, I went in the wrong one. She raised 60 million in 8 minutes. Oh, I have to change something. Apologies. Okay, let's go play again. I don't know what to do over there. So what you just done there, dragging a really practical example. Sorry, please, it might give me the microphone. Yeah. So what you just seen there, here's a real life
it's went up. And if you ask an audience now, it's at 80 to 95%. But if you then ask them the question, how many is using AI on a daily basis for at least 10% of their work, it goes back down to 1% or 2% or 3%. So what you're just seeing there, how we got round that, was with Claude, you can just go to Claude and say, build me a Chrome extension so that ChatGPT opens on every tab. And it takes 60 seconds. You load the extension. Now everybody in your workforce, every tab they open is ChatGPT. So their work in AI and using AI for their work was at 1 to 2%. Within one day, it's up at 20% because it forces them to use for every process that they're thinking about, they go to AI first rather than going off to Google or going off to wherever. So a lot of the magic of that stuff isn't really complex stuff. It's really, really simple things to change people's behaviors because habits are ingrained in us for decades and it's really hard to get people to change habits. But that tool there can change people's habits really easy.
Yep, sorry, I'm trying to connect to, oh, that's why. Just a second.
Luca, may
Yep.
May I do a question?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there are two questions.
Yeah.
You can also answer saying, let's talk afterwards.
All right.
The first one, I mean, I'm an old guy, but I have the memory that when social networks arrived, I was a little afraid. And
right.
I mean, now they are pro and cons, but they are also a mess, okay?
Right.
So my question is, about AI, I don't know a lot of AI, I was seeing that examples. Are you not feeling afraid about what could take and generate in many aspects?
This nuclear energy, it can go both ways, as every technology. So if you ask me about my feeling, I tend to be the optimist. I always discuss with Ricardo about these things. We're gonna die anyway in a few billion years, and maybe a meteor is gonna hit us. The only hope we have is actually to escape. So personally, I'm not that afraid, but it doesn't mean this is the right answer. Yeah, AI is gonna do disasters, and at the same time, it's gonna do incredible things. It's how we decide to use the technology. But I don't have the instinct of being afraid in general, but it's like my personal, instinct again. So it's good to be afraid for sure. We need both, right? Yeah. I only know that in technology, when something is dangerous, like something like this comes out, you don't fight it by blocking it, because you can't. You fight it by using it for good. So you have more good happening than bad, and bad will happen for sure.
And the second question is, again, quite general,
Yeah.
okay? That is, I mean, you guys, you are probably the most expert in terms of Web3, or ones dedicating a lot of time. And in your opinion, where will be Web3 in a short, medium scenario? I mean, 5 years, for instance, from now.
Yeah, I stopped answering this question because when I started in 2017 with Web3 for travel, I was giving numbers like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and it's always many years ahead. A bit like AI has always been many years ahead until it hit. So because it's on an exponential curve, it's really hard to know when it hits. So I have no idea, honestly. I guess anybody tells you, yeah, 2028 you're gonna have crypto adoption or AGI. Nobody really knows. The people who made LLMs like where they are, they're still like Ilya Sutskever, who is one of the developers of the OpenAI, is saying, I'm still amazed it works. The whole AI research in these decades is like LLM was one little thing nobody really cared about, just a few people cared about, and then they find out that if you put a lot of data, it works, and everything moved there. So maybe in crypto, maybe Dogecoin is going to be the big thing. So I don't know. Let's see if we can contact. Let's see. Otherwise, we skip this one.
For me, 5 years ago, we learned that
That was Facebook, I think. When they stopped it? When the, oh, it was Google? All right. I think it's Facebook. You will check it. I think it's Facebook. But yeah, no, definitely. Oh, look at this. We have Alessandro. So, exactly. So we couldn't test this. Maybe we're gonna drop it if it doesn't work. I have Alessandro, my co-founder in Prague right now. He's gonna develop live on Cursor an idea. I ask you your ideas, but they're really too complicated to show something happening. So what Alessandro usually does, he goes to Claude and writes the specifications together with Claude to have basically all the specification, the text you would use if you had to go to developers or to Upwork or whatever. So he's gonna play with that. I can't even remember the idea, but we're gonna see it. So it's there live. Let's go back to our presentation. And the 60 millions of the girl. Okay, these 60 millions is Cursor. Again, Cursor came out a few months ago. Until Claude 3.5, it was just a nice little tool, many problems. And then 3.5 comes out, and I mean, so many people are being coding, and even good developers are using it. It doesn't mean this is only for us who cannot actually code. Some developers, of course, are saying, no, I'm never going to touch this stuff, but we heard this before in every technology. Some are saying, okay, for some things, I'm importing libraries, copying, pasting, Stack Overflow, I'm going to use it, and it's really, really powerful, so they use it. And that's the last one. This guy, he says, we're living in an era where I'm not technical is no longer an excuse. Speak English and you are an engineer. Of course, all this could be a bit, too hyped. You get so amazed by doing this. Again, guys, doing it, not watching it. I really suggest you download the software and build a game, a video game, or something very simple, and you will be amazed on how this works. Even if you don't know how it works, you ask it and it explains you. So it's like, it's not a tool you have to learn. You just talk to this AI. So basically, if you are a startup and you don't have a co-founder, a developer, you can already come up with an MVP. Sometimes it takes the same time to do an MVP than present your slides, to prepare your slides. If you have a co-founder, a technical co-founder, it's going to just be faster, right? Am I saying that developers are so passé that it's gone and now everything's going to be AI? No, it's a tool. I bet the people who can use the tool for what it is, not for what we think it is, are going to go ahead. And on the other end, those who say, no, I'm a real pure programmer and I'm going to never touch this stuff, are going to basically be too slow. And I'm sure there are use cases in which you should never get close to this, maybe software for a nuclear reactor, and others in which you really have to use that. It's never clean, black and white. Let's see if we have some news from Ale. Let's see what Ale has done in the meantime. Oh, there you go. Look at this. So maybe I should remove this, make it clearer. Full screen. No, we're gonna change layout. Let's go spotlight. Okay, a bit better. So basically, Ale is telling what you need, is discussing with Claude, and Claude is preparing a document, which later we will use in Cursor. Okay. So let's go back to our presentation. Okay, let's see. Okay, cool. So I'm basically ending the speech by simplifying a little bit, give you a little bit of one-liners. Do you speak English? You can code. I mean, I really feel I should watch in your eyes, say, do you speak English? You can code, you can do it. I know you don't believe it, you can do it. The only way you can actually get this, again, is download that Cursor and play with it, whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be crypto, Web3, whatever it may. You can, what I did? When I look for Airbnb apartments, I look many of them, and then I reduce it to 3 or 4, and then I like comparing. I have a very analytical approach to this, and sometimes I do Excel sheets to have all the part and comparisons. I develop a system in which I simply copy paste the content of the listing and the reviews, and it creates me a table, and it creates me an ordering in which I say, okay, and then I put a chat in it, and I say, okay, give me the most valuable apartment with high cleaning, where I can walk around, whatever, and he answers to me. I won't show it to you now, it's on the other account, but this is stuff I couldn't even dream doing. It would have taken me, a developer would ask me $5,000, $10,000 easy, and I would have gone, discuss with him a lot. It took me a few hours, 10 hours, I don't know, I had a lot of fun doing it. So really, try it. It's a bit like crypto, unless you do it, it's like, it's theoretical. Is code today 10 times cheaper and faster? I would say, I don't know if it's 10, we like the number 10, it could be 5, it could be 100, I don't know. Code got really cheap and really fast, all right? And maybe MVPs will be done in days, not in months. So you're a startup, you have an idea, the MVP could be ready in a week. Not these 2 ideas you just said, these are too hard, I suppose. So, okay, I'm done with this talk. If you have more questions, great. In the meantime, we can see Ale doing his thing. Oh, look, he went in, let me see where he is. I can't see really. Is this still Claude? Yeah, this is still Claude. Because Claude also writes code for you in the artifacts. And that's what we've been doing until 2 months ago. Oh, look at this, he's built already an interface. So he's playing, okay, AI Travel Companion. Can you read it? Oh, it's too small. Oh, God, how can maybe let's try the full screen, maybe. Yeah, we were afraid this was going to be a problem. Maybe a bit bigger now. Okay, I can do this thing, which, yeah, this is good for. It's an AI travel companion discovering amazing destination. We heard many startup speeches on that thing. This is, it's going to come up with an MVP by tomorrow morning. Okay. I don't know. I have goosebumps with this stuff. I don't know if you have them, but I'm really trying hard to convey this thing. Okay, so any questions? Otherwise, we go to the next speakers. Now, any doubts? Do you see the light? Do you believe in it? Or this is kind of hype, conferences have to say stuff like this and whatever? I see the light. Microphone, please. Yes. Yeah.
I see the light, but as before we said about AI, I'm afraid about the bullshit. Because the fact is that if I'm not able to code, how can I check if the code is written is the best code possible, is efficient, is reliable, or something like that?
You throw it in another AI.
That's why.
And it tells you.
That's why.
We
come back in the same condition as before. We have as what we said before about the revenue management. I think that the future will always be two of something that competes. Yeah. So like a person and an AI, two AI or something like that. So it's the competition that in this case seems to be the solution, of course.
Imagine two agents fighting on the code. One agent writes the code, the other agent finds the bugs.
That's why. So I think, for example, the product we were talking about before, so the possibility to create an agent, right. Probably the idea could be to create two agents, one that acts and one that's check.
Could be three. Could be one looking at the UX and saying how user-friendly it is. It's really unlimited. It is really crazy. And at the same time, how do you check the code written by somebody like your technical co-founder or somebody you found on Upwork? Just before that, I have an episode. When I developed my first version of my Leader Airbnb thing, I was in Shanghai, and I looked for a developer. I had this huge budget of $1,200 to develop Airbnb, basically. And for me, it was a lot, because before I was developing my things, right? Actually not even developing HTML. And I remember I told the guy, I gave the specifications, and I said I need the apartment to be available or occupied. And he said, okay. And he came back a week later with the code, nicely done. And then I said, okay, show me the calendar. And there was this button for the apartment, and you click the button, it's occupied. You click the button, it's free. There was no per day. It was, you close it, it's closed forever. And then you open, it's open forever. So even human developers do these kind of things. Now, in that case, the problem was the budget. I'm sure that was my fault, but you never know with the code, right? If you have, top developers, probably, how easy is it to get them? And these guys are getting top very, very quickly. I mean, a year ago, I think they went like 10x in quality. What's going to be in another year? It's really amazing. So, okay, what's happening with Ale? And then we go ahead. Yeah, he's still on Claude. Okay, let's see, let him work. Okay. Any other question? Mike? Mike. Mike was first, actually. Sorry, Peter.
I'll just add a really quick comment, because I think this is super interesting and trying to give everybody a line of sight. You guys probably all know one of the biggest company in terms of pushing the innovation and boundaries of AI is NVIDIA, right? Everybody knows NVIDIA. Yeah, they used to make video game graphics, right? Founder used to be a Denny's dishwasher before he became a CEO and founder. Anyways, a month ago, there was interview between Jensen Huang and Mark Zuckerberg. It's on YouTube. You guys can look for it. I think it's something like AI and the next generation of computing. And it's super interesting because he talks about how NVIDIA uses AI for everything they do in chip development, software development, so forth and so forth. And really kind of gives you a line of sight as well to like what Facebook is doing with AI. So that whole interaction, the whole engagement conversation, I think it's well worth watching. It's about an hour long, but I think it's cool if you guys want to get deeper into it.
So in the meantime, Ale went onto Cursor and is writing code. So
yes, so it's back to your point on whether the code's good or correct. Now, if you're going to deploy that and it's going to be a product that's going out to the world, that needs checked. But if it's internal in your business, so in the time we were sitting there, I just built an app to scrape travel sites. I can scrape all the product, I can scrape the prices. That's not getting published to the world. That literally took 3 minutes there, and I'm non-technical. So for internal use, you're not worried about all the bug fixes. Yeah. And it took out over 15 bugs in 30 seconds after I told it to. I'm non-technical. Yeah. But I can deploy inside my own business using human risk analysis of what you can and what you can't. Yeah. And the productivity inside your business just explodes.
Right.
Absolutely explodes.
Yeah. So, very good point, which I forgot to mention. Don't think about, launching startups or launching code for others to sell. Your own processes. You can really improve all your processes by creating code. Again, imagine to have a developer at your disposal for your own processes. You're never going to publish this code. Nobody's going to ever see it, but you are going to work much, much better. And only for this reason, please download Cursor and try it. Think about something you would like to have done in your business and try to do it. And then you call me and I'm going to help you bring back your Joe up because it's going to be all the time.
I mean, it's super awesome.
Yeah.
Prototyping.
Right.
The same thing, like years ago, you have all these founders that's like, oh, okay, what's your team size?
Right.
Our team size is 3.
Yeah.
But then we have our stuff is outsourced to India.
Yes.
And the iteration process between, they ship the code, it sucks.
Yeah.
Hey, can you do this?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Minutes, hours.
Yeah. That kills outsourcing.
Yeah.
Do it yourself very quickly. It's hours instead of days or weeks. All right. Nice. Thank you, Beth. Clapping.